If you are a fleet owner or an owner operator or anyone holding a CDL in America today, you need to stop what you're doing and pay attention to this video. Now, the Department of Transportation just dropped a hammer that is going to shift the entire landscape of who is allowed to sit behind the wheel of an 80,000-pound rig. We aren't just talking about a minor policy change. We are talking about a fundamental shift in the federal law that officially bans a specific group of people from obtaining a commercial driver's license. For the last few years, there's been a massive loophole, a backdoor, if you will, that allowed thousands of unqualified drivers to get on our highways. And today, Secretary Sean Duffy and the DOT officially slammed that door shut. Here is exactly what is happening, why it is happening, and what it means for the future of your business, the safety of our roads, and the mindset you need to adopt to thrive in this new era of trucking. Let's get straight to the meat of this. Up until this point, in over 30 states across this country, people were able to walk into a DMV, show an employment authorization document, otherwise known as an EAD or a work permit, and walk out with a CDL. On the surface, it sounds like standard paperwork, but here was the fatal flaw. An EAD does not track driving history. When a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident applies for a CDL, the state pulls their record. They see the DUIs, they see the accidents, they see the suspensions. But for someone entering the country and using just a work permit, the DOT found that states had zero visibility into what those drivers were doing before they got here. No record of crashes in their home country, no record of reckless driving. The DOT just confirmed that in 2025 alone, we saw at least 17 fatal crashes caused by these non-domiciled drivers. We lost 30 lives because of drivers who, according to the federal government, should have never been behind the wheel in the first place. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Marcellus, why does this matter to me? I'm a citizen. I've got my CDL. I'm running my business. It matters because this loophole was creating an uneven playing field. When you have thousands of drivers entering the market who haven't been vetted, who aren't following the same safety standards, and who are often working for fly-by-night carriers, that drives down the market rates for everyone. It increases insurance premiums for the entire industry. It creates a race to the bottom where quality, safety, and professionalism are sacrificed for the lowest possible bid. Now, Secretary Sean Duffy didn't just close the loophole for the sake of paperwork. He closed it to restore the integrity of the American trucking industry. Before we dive into the technicalities of the new law, I want to talk about mindset. As a student of the Titans, men like Earl Nightingale and Napoleon Hill, I always go back to the principle. We become what we think about. If you think the trucking industry is dying because of these regulations, you will find evidence to support that belief, and your business will suffer. But if you see this as a great cleaning, a moment where the unqualified are removed and the professionals are rewarded, then you will start to see the opportunity. The strangest secret in business is that most people aren't competing with you. They are competing with their own lack of discipline. The DOT is now forcing discipline on the industry. If you have been struggling with low rates and bottom feeder carriers undercutting you, this is your sign that the market is correcting. Your attitude towards these changes will determine whether you are a victim of the new regulations or a beneficiary of a more professional marketplace. So, what exactly is the new law? As of March 15th, 2026, the work permit only era is officially dead. If you are a foreign national and you want a CDL, you can no longer just show an EAD. Here is the 4-step framework the DOT is now enforcing. Step 1, the passport requirement. You must now present an unexpired foreign passport. This ensures that the individual's identity is verified by their home nation and that there is a clear, traceable record of who they are. Step 2, the I-94 verification. You must present a Form I-94. This document tracks exactly when and how a non-citizen entered the United States. It removes the guesswork for the DMV and ensures that the driver is here legally and for the purpose of work. Step 3, specific visa status. This is the big one. Under the new provisions, Only foreign nationals holding specific temporary work visas like H-2B, H-1B, or E-2 investor visas may be eligible for a CDL. If you are here on a general work permit that does not fall into these categories, you are ineligible, period. Step 4, the SAVE system mandate. That means that every single state driver's licensing agency is now mandated to use the SAVE system. And that stands for Systematic Alien Verification for Entitlements. No more state-by-state discretion, no more loopholes. The federal government is centralizing the verification process to ensure that if you can't prove your legal status and your driving history, you are not getting the keys to an 80,000-pound rig. But they didn't stop at the paperwork. The DOT is also doubling down on a rule that many of us have been shouting about for years: English proficiency. Under these new guidelines, if a commercial motor vehicle operator cannot pass an English proficiency test, they aren't just getting a warning, they are being placed out of service. This isn't about being anti-foreigner. This is about safety. If you cannot read the road signs, if you cannot communicate with the law enforcement at a weigh station, and if you cannot understand the safety protocols in an emergency, you are a liability. You are a liability to yourself, and you are a liability to every family driving next to you in a Honda Civic. The DOT is signaling that the standard of excellence is being raised. As a professional in this space, as someone who champions the final mile lane, I always preach: the more barriers to entry there are, the more valuable your position becomes once you're inside. If it were easy, everyone would do it. The fact that it is getting harder to get a CDL makes your CDL more valuable. Now, let's talk about the OTR exit strategy. I know a lot of drivers are tired of being over the road. They are tired of being away from their families for weeks at a time. And many fleet owners are seeing their OTR margins get crushed by rising fuel costs and these new regulatory hurdles. This is why I personally advocate and champion the final mile and local box truck model. When you operate locally, your compliance is easier to manage, your drivers are home every night, and you aren't dealing with the same level of non-domicile competition that has flooded the long-haul market. By narrowing your focus to local deliveries and final mile contracts, you are insulating yourself from the chaos of the national long-haul market. The DOT's crackdown on unqualified drivers is going to hit the long-haul sector the hardest. I want you to survive and thrive in 2026. You need to be looking at how to bring your operations closer to home. You need to focus on business credit, focus on your cost per mile, and focus on the high-ticket box truck blueprint strategies that don't rely on being the cheapest driver on the road, but the most reliable and compliant one. Now, I want you to remember something. This rule officially takes effect on March 15th, 2026. If you are running a fleet, you need to audit your drivers today, not tomorrow, but today. Check the documentations and ensure that everyone is in compliance with the new visa requirements. And if you are looking to hire, you need to make sure your HR and compliance departments are ready for the SAVE system requirements. And most importantly, if you are a driver, you need to take your English proficiency seriously. Don't wait until you're at a scale or a weigh station to find out that you don't meet the standard. The DOT is making it clear. Roadway safety is now a matter of national security. They are threatening to pull federal funding from states like New York and California if they don't comply. The days of looking the other way are over. Now, I've only scratched the surface of this new federal ruling. There are specific details in the full report about how these fatal crashes occurred and how the DOT plans to hold fraudulent carriers accountable. I have linked the full detailed article in the description box below. Make sure you check it out. Now, do me a favor. Don't click it just yet. I want you to sit with what I've just told you. I want you to think about how this changes your hiring strategy, your growth strategy, and your mindset for the rest of the year. Now, once you've processed this and once this video ends, then go down there, click that link, and read the full breakdown for yourself. And also make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and turn on post notifications. And once again, if you're thinking about starting the final mile box truck business, I want you to check out my free course on YouTube. The link is always in the description box below on every video. Also, check out the video on the screen below where I talk about the trucking industry big shift. Now, in this video, I'm doing a deep dive on the history of the commercial driver's license. I'm breaking down the Commercial Motor Vehicle Safety Act of 1986, the messy 5-year transition period, and the grandfather clause. Now, once again, I'm Marcellus with Trucking with MBR. Stay ahead of the regulations, stay professional, and most importantly, stay safe out there on that road. I'll see you on the next video.